I'm just beginning to put all my summer stuff away for the winter, put it in the shed, and this is amongst the list of things to be put away, the Vicon Acrobat, which you've seen in a previous video working, scraping up hay. Here it is on its own, not on the tractor. This one was actually built in Spain, although the Acrobat I think was Dutch originally, but this has got a Spanish plate on it, but made by Vicon. I bought this at an auction 12 years ago, very rusty, but it did have a box of spare parts, so I managed to get all the tines back on, although there is still one broken one on there now, which I'll need to change that. You can take all the tines out, but they are a devil of a job to get back in, hence the fact I haven't done it. But this all stands up for travelling on the road. You can twist everything round to get these all in a line, but through 90 degrees, which makes it quite tall on the back of the tractor. But when it's in operation, here's the 3-point linkage, top link, and the bottom links there. That main pole there needs to be vertical when it's in use. And then you see people using them without, as they say, pulling the pin out. And the pin is there. That pin gets taken out and the whole of this frame hangs on the spring. So it's actually hanging on a spring, which can be a bit of a job to get the pin out and get it working properly. But you see them with the 3-point linkage right down, almost dragging on the ground, and the brake hardly in work. And that's because they haven't pulled the pin out. But it's a fairly primitive thing, but it's extraordinary how effective it is in raking up hay for baling. And that's what I've been using it for this year. So when I bought it, I took the whole thing to bits, which was okay for getting the rust off it. The only downside of that is trying to put it back together. And these wheels, when you take them to bits, you take all those nuts off, and all the tines come off the central hub. You take it to bits to paint it and de-rust it is fine. Putting it back together is an absolute devil. In fact, I made a jig up in the end to get the angles right on the wire and to put it all back together. The first one was hellish, but the other three, once I got a jig made up on the bench, weren't quite so bad. But those tines, there's an awful lot of them. And some are cranked and some are straight. They should be cranked. As you can see, that wheel is cranked. That one is cranked. Those are all cranked. See what I mean? But those ones, the tines are straight. And they don't mix very well, so I'm running out of cranked ones. They've got a slight twist in them, as you can see. You can see that on the camera, I think you can. There's a twist there. And these ones are all straight. But as long as you keep them the same, they're alright. You can still buy these. You still buy all the tines. But they are a bit pricey. But they come up on eBay periodically, and that's where I'll buy the next lot from. But all it needs is a bit of grease once a year. Taking it to bits to put in the shed is a two-man job, because it's all becomes a bit unbalanced as you take it to pieces. I leave the wheels on, leave them on the first frames, and take those two main frames off to get it to work. But you can buy the decals now, which I did a couple of years ago, that makes life slightly easier. The important ones, or the important decal, is this one here. This one actually shows you how you can set it to row up into 4 rows, into 2 rows, or into 1 row. You can buy these. And getting it set up to do the right thing is quite important. So there we are. A Vicon Acrobat. About to be taken to pieces and put away, ready for another year's haymaking, hopefully slightly earlier than this one, because I seem to have been at it for months.